Welcome to our Gym Nation weekly roundup. Every Wednesday, the exception of major holidays, so we did it on Tuesday last week because Wednesday was right before Thanksgiving, and Christmas falls on a Wednesday, I believe, and New Year's Eve falls on a Wednesday, so we'll alternate days. But for the most part, every Wednesday at 10 p.m., it's our Gym Nation weekly roundup. So if you missed the video, if you have a question, or if you just are interested in seeing what the most frequently asked questions are or what the people are saying, and you just don't have time to scroll through it, we go through all of it. Since I launched this live, we have gone live every single day since November 10th. November 10th was the first day. There have been days that I've done 2 lives, only twice. But as the spirit moves me, I come in and I try to chit chat and share, drop some gems if I can. And so I know that's a lot for people to catch up on. I keep a playlist. It's called the Stay Ready, Move Abroad playlist. There's about 25 videos there now, somewhere around there. But so that's where all the lives are stored for anyone who's missed it, wants to catch up on some topics. And like I said, I know it's a lot. So I also try to edit some of the long videos because my Gym Nation knows we could be here for some time. Like we may, I always say, 30, 40 minutes. We're not staying here for 2 hours tonight. And then here we are 2 hours. But so I know there's a lot of information that won't get watched because the videos are so long. So I do try to chop up and edit some videos and post those throughout the weeks, just so that like some of the key points are touched on and people don't miss it, because this is urgent. I want as many people to get this information, this content as soon as possible so they can act as soon as possible. So with that being said, every Wednesday we do a review. It's a lot of information. A lot of questions come through in the under the, in the comment section. I can't get through all of them. When we started, we were just under 4,000 subscribers. We are now very close to 10,000, 9,400, maybe 9,300, somewhere around there. That's a lot. And so again, and I did state that once we get to 10,000, I'm going to do some type of membership. So probably just the standard YouTube membership or something. And whoever wants to join and wants to ask questions that way during our comments, we can do that. I have some gifts to give some of my day one OGs. So stay tuned for that. We're not at 10,000 yet. So when we get there, more to come on that. Let me introduce myself. So welcome to the new people. Welcome back to the OG Gemstones. I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, founder and creator of Black Travel and Culture Community. You can find us across most social media platforms. I've been kind of dormant on those platforms because I've been focused here especially since November 10th. It's a wider audience, it's a bigger audience, and some of the other platforms have been a little funny acting because I think there is the word Black in the name of my community. And so I'm going where I am appreciated, not where I'm tolerated. And YouTube has been appreciated. But I also had to change the name here. So it used to be Black Travel and Culture, Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. Now it's just Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. So I'm also a Mexican resident. For those of you that are new, I got my residency back in 2022. I did it on my own. I spent a few months out of the year in Mexico until I can be there a little bit more permanent. I also consult and help people strategize how to start their residency here, as well as finish in Mexico. I'm a multicultural sales and marketing expert. And so that's why I also have a passion for this type of information. I'm a long-term investor and trader and the host of this channel. There are many resources that have been created since the launch of this Stay Ready, Move Abroad series. All of those will be in the description below. There's coaching calls for Mexican residency that I stated. There's there's strategy calls for Mexican residency that I stated. There's coaching calls for anybody who's lost, needs help, accountability. It may not be Mexican residency. It could be just moving abroad or sabbaticals or whatever. That those links are in the description as well. We have a 28-day accountability challenge coming up. It's going to be a small group of people starting this Sunday for meeting every Sunday for 4 weeks to accomplish whatever goals it is that we have to accomplish. And then there's resource guides. So if you're looking just for links to every consulate, Mexican consulate here in the US, I have that. If you're looking for the top 8 destinations that Black expats are going with clickable links to all of the pertinent resources, check the description below. So that should be all of the formalities. As I mentioned, listen, I love it here. Almost 10,000 subscribers, over 5,000 subscribers since November 10th. But God, this has totally been amazing. So I am going to ask you, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've already asked you to pay your tithes by liking this video, not only for yourself, but to help other people get introduced to this information. Sharing is caring. I always say that. Share with a friend, a family member that you think this could be of, help. It may help somebody out. And yeah, hit the like button. If you missed yesterday's live and you need some inspiration from the 60 plus and older demographic of people who are just saying bye to the US and moving abroad and living life like it's golden, check out that video. We had the founder of the 60 plus Black women expat group. Her name is Deborah, and we were on over 2 hours yesterday. So I have some edits to do, some chop ups to do with that video because and I still didn't get through all the questions I wanted to ask her. But anyway, you could check out that video. Be sure to follow her Facebook page. It's 60 plus Black women expats. Also follow her YouTube channel. She said she's going to be more consistent with posting, but right now she has some good resources on her YouTube channel as well. I think the interview was fire. I think there were so many gems dropped, and it was very inspirational for someone who basically someone held her accountable. This is why I know accountability is your best friend. I don't care who you get to be accountable with you. Her friend got tired of hearing her talk about wanting to move away and was like, listen, I don't want to hear nothing no more from you until you get that plane ticket. After you get the plane ticket, then we could talk about this again. But right now, basically, hush. And she went and got the plane ticket. I think it was the next week. And the rest is history. She has now been in Ecuador, or a resident of Ecuador, for 2 years now. And life is grand. And so I think I covered all of the housekeeping. And so let me see. I'll check real quick to see if there's anybody with questions before we get into the recap of last week. You know what? No, I'm going to do the recap of last week, then I'll check for questions. So give me 1 second. Let me pull, I got to bring it up to the stage. Okay. My channel. Present. Share screen. I think that's it. Yep, share. And now I have to add to the stage. So we're quickly just going to go over, and I'm going to take myself off. We're going to go over what's coming up, as well as the past week and how many videos. I mean, not the video, how many, but the titles of the video. Sorry about that. So we'll start with the lives. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, we're at 9,000.39 subscribers. Good Lord. So last week, that was our Move Abroad Community Weekly Chat. I've actually renamed it to the Stay Ready Move Abroad Weekly Chat because it's even if you don't want to move abroad, like I always say, you may want to move to another state. You may want to move to another job. Whatever it is, whatever your next move is, this is the community to hold you accountable because things are going to change in 2025 and they're going to change rapidly. And so we need to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So after we met last week, there was a live where we talked about Mexico. Are they closing their borders to Americans? And there are some changes that are happening. Actually, today they just announced they didn't give what the financial requirements are going to be for residency, but they gave us a hint. So basically, they gave us what the new minimum wage is going to be. And I think they're pretty much saying that whatever the requirements are for 2024, add 12% to that number just to start planning. So if let's whatever the requirements were, I'm not going to waste time doing the math, but so we still don't have the actual numbers for financial solvency because there's different layers. There's if you're married, there's if you're retired, there's a whole lot of layers to that. But we talked about how eventually they're going to have to tighten up. Mexico's going to have to tighten up some of they're pretty flexible. And so knowing that there is truly an influx of people who are looking for options outside of this country, I think they are going to well, they've already started. So they used to automatically give everyone 180 days. And there's a, asterisk there, some restrictions apply, right? But for the most part, when you got your tourist visa, came into Mexico, you had 180 days before you would have to leave, 6 months. And that's why it was such a popular place. People loved the fact that they could stay for 6 months. But now, and that's without showing that you can afford to stay there. So you're just coming there, right? And they're just banking on the fact that you can't afford to stay there. Well, they know that now with the changing of the guards in this country being pretty much split down the middle, there will be people just trying to come in, maybe abuse that, maybe not be able to really sustain themselves. So I do believe there will be some changes. So now there are lots of people saying that they only got stamped for 40 days or they only got stamped for 30 days. And so that means when that time is up, you have to leave or then you become an illegal um, immigrant, an illegal alien. Basically, you do not have the rights to be in that country. And when you leave the country, once you overstay your welcome there, you have to pay a fine. And hopefully that'll be all that you have to do. They could change their laws there as well. So we talked about some of those changes. This was on Wednesday because we met on Tuesday last week. That's right. And then this was more validation that we are on the right track here with our Stay Ready movement. I did this impromptu because I wasn't supposed to go live on Thanksgiving, but I did an impromptu because of a conversation that I had that inspired me to do so, sharing that, this isn't the first time many of us have thought about an exit strategy. A lot of our grandfathers, uncles, great whatever, whoever was in the military during Jim Crow segregation, a lot of them left their families, went to war to make sure that they had better opportunities and better respect, so to speak. And I want to say, if it's not tomorrow, it's Thursday. I have some audio that I want to play for you from some people who were actually in Britain or the UK and other places during Jim Crow days, and how amazing they were treated. They were treated not so well by their officers and the actual the actual fraction of the service that they were part of, but from the people abroad they were treated really well. After that, we had stop the analysis paralysis game, less planning and more doing. Like, I really believe that so many of us don't I know many of us don't accomplish our dreams because we stay stuck in the planning. That is also why I brought the 28-day accountability challenge to this group. Some of you don't know that I also have investment group called Investing for Independence. That is still the name. I'm in the process of rebranding. Some of you know the story as to why. But this is the same formula we use in that group. And when I tell you the results are resounding, because we will sit there and talk about, oh, I'm going to do research on this company, and oh, I need to set up my brokerage account. And 2 years will go by and none of that will be done. So it's time for action. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. And this is also why we talk about every Saturday exactly what that Project 2025 really looks like for us. Okay. And so, moving on to our Saturday conversation, their plans versus ours. Black women, get ready, because we talked about we talked about exactly what that is going to look like. And so you could catch up on that video as well. We actually have another video on another live on, I want to say Friday, where a recent article came out in Forbes talking about, I think it may be up here. Did I already? Yeah. It says, post-election, many women are working with high functioning depression. And basically, so if this is talking about just regular women, let's insert many Black women are working with severe high functioning depression, because we got the double whammy, right? We women and we're Black. So they look at us as affirmative action, DEI hires, unnecessary. And so we're going to talk about what is going on in the workplace, literally, and how companies are acting now, but what may happen in the future. So that's really going to be about the workplace. But so every Saturday, we're going to talk about different aspects of Project 2025. Then after that, we did Cyber Week gift ideas to help you plan and move abroad. And even if it's not you, it's somebody else. So we gave smart gift ideas, affordable gift ideas, starting off with the passport. Give someone a passport. If you were thinking about getting them a pair of sneakers or some perfume and they don't have a passport, shame on you. Shame on you. It's your fault. I'm blaming you. So saying all that to say, if you get a chance, actually, there's also going to be a clip of this video. I mean, because it was long to over an hour. I have a clip of that going up on Friday as well. Then we talked about the difference in white Americans in America and white Americans abroad, and how some of the most amazing relationships that I've forged while in Mexico living abroad have been outside of the Black community. Now, and I also share, you see some videos where I share about the community of Black expats in Mexico as well. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some of the most amazing, helpful, I don't even want to say they're allies, because they don't even, it's just, they are just human and I am human, right? So it's not about Black or white with them. Our conversations, wrong or right, like that's what they're planted in. They're not planted in race. And so that's what we talked about. And then yesterday, Black women over 60, it can get greater later outside of the country. And so that's when we interviewed Deborah, the founder of the 60 plus Black women expat community. And so today, let's go over what we have coming up. So on the 6th, so that is not tomorrow, right? That is, so tomorrow is going to be a very bulleted conversation about Project 2025, because some of the comments and some of the ones that are hidden, I could tell people still don't even know what that is. So we won't be here for a long time for that, but we're going to go over literally the top takeaways from what we can expect to be addressed in the government as well as the Supreme Court, starting as early as January of 2025. So that's just going to be a bulleted conversation. Then on Friday, we're going to talk about desperate times call for desperate measures. Black women, what are we doing? What is our plan? Because these jobs, which is going to be the next day for the which for the Project 2025 conversation. These jobs are not, you think they're not loyal now? Oh, child. Oh, child. So first they're gonna make you depressed and feel like you're losing your mind. And then what we're gonna talk about on Saturday is you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. And we're not just talking about women. We're talking being Black in America, from the DEI to the federal workers and so many more. The disappearing Black jobs that have gotten us some level of financial security will be replaced by the Black jobs that they want us to be in, right? And so we're going to talk about how that's spelled out, and there's some legal documents. So I do my research. So a lot of these have been planned, like, not yesterday, day before. So I have like folders. So we will go over some of and a lot of you, I mean, those who have been here, that I always pull up receipts, but there are some real plans for what they have, the expectations for DEI. And there's some news sources and interviews that I'll lead you to as well. And then the rest are just our weekly. So we'll be here through the 18th, and then we're coming back. We're going to skip Christmas, of course. But we'll be back with our recap on the 26th. Okay, so now I will come back and see if there are any questions. Again, if you are interested in coming up on stage and asking, feel free. And if not, we will go into the questions online. Okay, for everyone that's here now, please go ahead, hit the like button. That is your way to pay tithes. And I just lost 2 people. I love it. Not that I love that I lost 2 people, but it's so funny to me that something as simple as asking someone to hit the like button gets them to leave. But they would have stayed had I not asked them. So the right people are in the room. That's all I care about. Okay. So where did I leave off? And if you're just joining, listen, we are in a live, so this is not a rush through, run through type of video. If this is not your vibe, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to stay. Because we do acknowledge our gemstone nation, our gem nation, and our gemstones, and we go through questions. And so this is what we're here for. That's why we come in our PJs if we're on the West Coast, on the East Coast, because we're going to be here for a minute. Okay, let me see. I don't see any questions. Again, if you have a question, go ahead and put the question mark in front of it, and then I'm trying to get through the ads. So we already addressed the ads. Okay. Not. Might be StreamYard. Okay. It might be StreamYard. I know a person who uses CapCut and there are no ads. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I use CapCut for editing on other like my short form videos. But for those of you that don't know, CapCut is owned by a company called ByteDance. It's the same company that owns TikTok. And there's some situations happening. So I would not stream through CapCut at all. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, because I did not know that you could stream through CapCut. Oh, the buck stops here. It's back in the building. Buenos noches. Bitcoin, yeah. Oh, they broke 100K. I thought they broke 100K the other day. Didn't they hit 100K the other day? He is our Bitcoin miner master. Okay, question. The Trump administration will criminalize the LG who not being straight? Listen, there's a lot of criminalization that's probably going to happen. We see what it started, how it started with women's rights, right? Women's health right? And I don't just like to say abortion because they're talking Plan B pills. They're talking a whole lot of other things. So he's already said, right? There's two genders. That's one of his primary initiatives when he takes over. So listen, the writing I think is on the wall. And I think, Black people need to also worry. And yes, I do say Black. If you want to say African American, that's up to you. But Black people are at risk of having a lot of their rights taken away that were protections through amendments and different acts. And so, oh, you put your Oh, that's good. Since I have to leave, we're not having a Christmas tree here. For retirees, do they request retirees temporary or permanent residency? Did get my appointment. Well, if you're a retiree, most of retirees I know go for permanent residency if you're talking about Mexico. So I'm not sure if that was I don't know if that was the question. At the Mexican consulate. Yeah. So you go for whatever level of residency you want to go through based on your financial solvency. Most people I know go through the retirees if they're retired and it's permanent. So they don't have to worry about renewals. And a lot of times, if you get retirement income, you, you tend to be able to make that cutoff with your retirement income. Oh, Italy. Welcome, Marion. It's cold there tonight. Earl, where part are you in? I love Italy. I talk about Italy all the time on this channel. I was just in Milan a year ago. Oh my gosh, had an amazing time. Um, oh yeah, Miss Deborah was glowing, like skin. She looked fit and healthy. Like, listen, I'm going to Ecuador to check it out because I've never been. Actually know people from Ecuador. I'm in New York, so I know people pretty much from everywhere, but I never even thought about going there to check it out. I started hearing more and more about it since I've been going to Mexico in 2022, but prior to that, I had no desire. Oh, welcome the art of today. Welcome to Gym Nation. Hopefully you have subscribed. Oh, welcome back, K Salam. Okay. So, nobody's come up. WM has a question. I think I answered it, right? Yeah, that was Oh, welcome, Young. Welcome. So, what we're going to do now is just quickly go through um I'm thinking, should I do spicy? But let's do spicy first. And I don't think there were that many spicy comments. There were a couple that, the same old. But this week, which is weird, I thought there was going to be more, especially when I talked about white people being okay abroad and not okay here. But they were kind of on good behavior. So let's see. Let me go ahead. And what I'll do is, I'll just pull up the comments from the homepage instead of going to the comment section. And again, if you have a question, please put the question mark or at least 2 Q's in front of your question so I can see it. Okay, so let me present, share screen. Okay, so we're going to start here. Yeah, I don't think there were quite a lot. Yeah, this one got busy. Okay. So, um we're not going to go through all 90, but this was going to Mexico, not so fast, what's really going on at the border. So some people chimed in and shared, their experience at the border, and then others chimed in with questions. So someone said, I drove myself and my 4 kids over the border Monday, and this was just 4 days ago, um, at Eagle Pass. Not one issue. They stamped me and all my kids for 180 days. Now I'm driving through the county. I think it was supposed to say country to Merida. And again, you're at their you cannot get mad at them if they give you 30 days and you plan to stay there 40 days. I shared last week a comment from somebody that was upset. They got stamped only for 40 days, but they needed to stay longer. What should they do? And so the advice was you can overstay, but you'll have to pay a fine. Now, I think they're okay this year to do that, but who knows what their laws are going to be next year if people overstay, and depending on what this country does, right? And so my response was good for you and your family, not so good for those who are not getting the 80-day. I mean, well, it was supposed to say 180 days anyway, but you know what I meant. Somebody said, I've heard that people are moving to Mexico. They're moving to good areas of Mexico. The cost of living is one that people can't afford. 100%. I don't think 100%. Someone else is in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, got there yesterday, and immigration gave them 6 months stay. In 2025, they'll be 61. So hopefully they can get permanent residency before heading back to the States to get the rest of their stuff. Listen, we ain't playing out here. We have options. And like I say, have options even if you don't use them. It's always better to have and not need than to need and not have. And so that's why, even if it's not residency someplace else, make sure you have your passport, make sure you have all your documentation in order so that if you need to make a move, you can make a move. Thank you so much for sharing. I look forward to making my move to Mexico soon. Then this person, I thought this was interesting. Please be careful when and if moving to Mexico. Everyone knows the cartel runs police and government. A lot of people have gone missing from the USA and Mexico. Fake news. A lot more people, especially when it comes to Black women and children, more have gone missing here than you would ever think about going missing there. Not even a comparison. Somebody else wrote they're watching from Cabo, going to the immigration office tomorrow morning. They're using the RNE program to get their 4-year temporary residency. And then they talk about but just more confirmation that people are making sure they have options. And when you have residency, you don't have to stay. You get your residency, you could be on a flight that same afternoon coming back to the US. You don't have to stay there X amount of time. But when you go back, if they close the borders for entry, you can still enter because you are a resident as long as you haven't, done anything to break the laws for being a resident. You're good. We better research before traveling, in my opinion, because the changes going on in different countries. That's what we do here. We research. Even if there weren't changes that we're expecting to go on, I always say research. And that's what Deborah said yesterday during our live. You have to research. Like, you just don't get on a plane and go someplace. And I've provided different ways to research. We just don't research what the US State Department is saying here in the US. We go to the country that we're interested in. We look at what their State Department is saying. We look at the news on their, websites, which is why I encourage getting that VPN. And I have definitely have a link there because NordVPN still has the 74% Black Friday sale, which you have options of paying either $3.99 a month or $4.99 a month, depending on which package. But yeah, get you a VPN. Check out news in other countries to see what's really going on when you do your research. Don't just rely on the research from the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the Foxes and all of that. So, new Jim here. Thanks for such detailed info. I'm in Maryland, financially prepping for the big move. Listen, I just want to inspire y'all because there are many people, including not just Black people. Thank you for this valuable information and encouragement. Like, at the end of the day, I've seen more comments from others than I've seen from Black people saying that they are prepping, that they are prepping, which is why I'm here shouting from the rafters. You too can get residency in other places. Another channel I highly recommend people watching is Our Black Utopia. They have residency in both Mexico and Portugal, and they started at the same time I started. They got residency in Mexico first. they went from a negative, I think they were in debt. I forgot how much debt, let's say 20,000 to over 800,000 in assets by doing all of this and giving up all of the excess that they had here in the States. So, loving your channel. Thank you for this information. New sub appreciate. Um, somebody else was asking for about SSI. So that is a good question. So when we talk about retirees on this channel, being able to live off of their SSI in other countries, we're talking about earned SSI. We're not talking about government assisted programs, right? We're talking about if you worked and at retirement, you're eligible for SSI because you worked, then that's the SSI. And I know there's different kinds. So if it's the social security that you get from being a retired US worker, you get that money placed in your bank in the US and you could spend it wherever you want. All these retirees bopping all over the world, living all over the place, as long as it's earned and not a government program for need based. Somebody else was planning to move to Mexico City or Merida. I was looking for some more questions. Oh, so somebody downloaded the guide to Mexican residency and they asked, could I provide the list with actual costs from each consulate? I've stated many times on this channel, they have not released 2025 numbers yet. So for me to even put together a guide. So that's why the links are there. Because if you go to the link to that particular consulate, all that information is right there. You just have to go look at that, website. But right now they don't have, and I think that's what I said. Thank you for your feedback. I cannot include the same format because I did not create it. But here's where it starts. You can take a screenshot. Oh, I gave them, okay, I did show them what the numbers are through December. I forgot about that. So anyway, but I'm not going to be able to answer all these questions moving forward. I try to do as much as I can, on as many as I can, but that's why I do these Wednesday calls as well. Somebody else got an appointment for temporary resident in Phoenix. Oh, they were looking only about two. Yeah. So people are just sharing. Just ordered a resource guide. Blessings, my sister. Oh, yeah. So many people have loved especially the Mexican residency one. It's under $10. And who has time, right? I understand. I've done this for years because I was in the process. So I just have to update, make sure the links are still working. There's been new consulates added. But if you want to save yourself time, the links are in the description. Get yourself the Mexican consulate resource guide. Okay, so somebody else talked about the tariffs. I'm not arguing about the tariffs. They're talking about Mexico. It may not be affected. Listen, no one has a crystal ball. No one knows what's going to happen, but people are talking smack, right? And so we'll see what happens. And a lot of the issues with Mexico is tied up in immigration. Somebody else has a temporary visa from Panama and should get their permanent one around February next year. We'll get my nephew a passport for Christmas. Also, his birthday is in December. I did respond to that. So again, just more affirmation. Please, 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 let's just make smart moves. I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to share steps that I know that can save us later. Tariffs are going to affect all Americans, no matter where you live in the world. Okay. Some will be affected worse than others. Um, Information on people that get Social Security and retirement money happen to that when they go to a different country to live. So yeah, so pretty much I was looking for more questions, but this was a lot of just great support. We'll get into some spicy comments. I'm just gonna do it because not, and you'll see not every video gets a whole lot of questions or gets questions at all. So that was one. This one was another good comment, and this was the one that I was Why is this chat? Hold on. Sorry about that. I need to. All right. So this was when I talked about, how we been, because I had been seeing a lot of comments about, oh, you need to stay, you need to fight, oh, you're a deflector, or you're not staying, you're scaredy cat, all this other stuff. And I'm like, listen, how long we need to stay in trauma? How long we need to stay in bondage? How long we need to beg people to respect us? How long we need to keep supporting businesses because we don't support our own businesses, right? How long we got to keep throwing our money out of our communities to make other people rich while we unfortunately don't reap those benefits, right? And so talking to my aunt when she was talking about um, my 94-year-old, a 94-year-old aunt who was married to a military man. That means she was born in 1930, right? That means he was actually a couple years younger. So he was maybe born in like 1932. Went to the military. Now we weren't talking specifically about him, but even people who grew up in the South during Jim Crow, even if their parents had a little something, they had no freedoms. They had to run when they saw or drink out of water fountains that said colored only and all of that. So a lot of them, because they had no freedoms, joined the service at very young ages, like at 16, 17, which some people may have thought was illegal. They used to let you lie about your age to join the service. And a lot would leave, some because, they were in despair, desperate situations financially, and others because they heard how other people were treated in places like London and place in the UK and places like Germany, all over. And there's a comment in here that I really want to get to. And maybe here, okay. There's a couple that I really want to get to that will validate exactly what she was saying. So we should not have to fear, or we should not have to think we have to stay here and continue. And especially, this is where, listen, if you have a son, a Black son or daughter, and you're not at least entertaining moving someplace else, I don't understand it. That's all I'll say. I don't have young children, so it's not, that's not my ministry, but I think about the young children in my family, and I know each and every one of them will have passports, the ones that I'm close with, they will have options. They're already talking about bringing back the draft, and who the draft affects more than anybody else. And so anyway, this person said, my father was in excuse me, my father was an airman serving in the Air Force. I was not, in Germany, and attended school there. Then off to Japan. Spent most of my childhood overseas. My father was protecting us from the disease of racism in the US. We lived all over the world. Will retire in Southeast Asia. That's what our for our ancestors have been doing. We weren't only staying here and trying to fight for rights. We were protecting our families from the disease of racism as well, by putting these men were putting their lives on the line. A lot of them didn't make it back. And so no one needs to feel no type of way about staying here talking about fighting. And I'm not even going to talk about reparations. Y'all don't even need to talk about that for the foreseeable future, right? There's a reason that there has not been one Black person picked as part of the inner circle. I also think there's a reason why the vice president did not come out the night and concede to her beloved students, her beloved fellow bison students. And I think it's because she knows more than she could have said, and to look those kids in the eyes, knowing what's coming down the pike, child, please, let's plan something. I don't know what plan something. I know what my plan is and what I'm trying to get other people to plan, but let's plan something. And then somebody else said, there was another similar, someone else is visiting Panama in March. Praise the Lord. This our ancestors would tell us to take our freedom and go where you can find peace overseas. Been fighting here for over 500 years. Not worth it. Listen, y'all, if y'all want, y'all could check out some more of these comments. These literally not only inspired me, but put so much fire in my belly to keep this message going, to keep this movement going. Even though there are some naysayers, even though there are some nasty people in this world, even though there are some miserable people in this world that don't have nothing but time on their hands to sit there and tell me I need to talk faster, I need to speed it up, or go back to your country and yada yada yada. And so let's get into some of those actually. Somebody else said your aunt is so right. Your father was my father was courageous. My father was the courageous one, sorry, but my mother is still fearful of traveling to this day. Yeah, and some people, that's the other thing I wanted to say, and I say throughout, these lives, you can't take everyone with you. And I'm not saying leave your mama, but I'm also not saying don't leave your mama. You have to do what is best for you under the circumstances. And sometimes that's why I posted a clip from self-made millionaire Gwen Jameer, who I interviewed at the top of this year. Her mother left this earth wanting to go to Alaska, wanting to do things, but her fear of what was on the other side, her fear of flying, her fear of just the unknown stopped her from doing it. And so Tuesdays with Maury, like you want to make sure you take every opportunity you can. And I'm going to get off my soapbox because I could go on. But yeah, please, everyone's not going to get it. Everything ain't for everybody. And so that's why I still, am so passionate about this calling that I believe has been put on me to at least amplify the options. I want to move to Chiang Mai, Thailand in January 2025 for 3 weeks. If it works, I'll come back to prepare to move there. Chiang Mai was one of my favorite places to visit. Like, listen, them Thai people, child, they could be your aunties, like there's such a commonality between the African continent as well as um a lot of parts of like Southeast Asia, even from the food, like the sauces, the curries, all of that. Like it's the family ties and things. Like I just find so much connection with Thai people. Okay, so let's see. Were there any questions here? I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna do the spicy ones in a second. Yeah, I don't think there were many questions here. There were only just people talking about not spending. One person said they have no money. Is it still possible to move? I'm not here to sell nobody a dream. Everything costs money. There's a lot of ways to make money, especially in this country. There is no reason to not dedicate 6 months to try to make as much money as you can. And there's so many ways to do it. That's a whole nother conversation. There are so many ways to do it. And so I'm not here to lie and say you don't need money because you need money to move. You need money for just about everything, right? Except breathing. And so, okay. This one didn't really have any questions. Perfect. Okay, I'm almost done here because I remember there were only a Okay. Somebody asked for, this was the Black women over 60. This is the last one we're gonna do. Black women over 60, please do a trip in Ecuador. They were asking Deborah to do a scouting trip in Ecuador. Wonderful interview. Love Deborah. Hate that I missed the ladies tour of Panama. Great interview. You sisters are so beautiful. I hope to speak with you real soon. I'm in this age range and currently living outside of the US. I'm from the DMV. I have been praying and asking God to connect with some true women of God. I would like to share my story. I retired early. Grace and peace. Shalom to Kim in the gyms, watching the replay. Somebody's doing their best. Yes, a lot of information trying to keep up. It's okay. Take your time. Okay. There are a lot of Mexicans moving from other parts of Mexico to the more popular places in Mexico and the Yucatan as well. And then somebody, oh, this is LaRonda. I'm reaching out to see if you can use some assistance. Oh, LaRonda, I'm just seeing this. You know I can, and I already have plans for you. So we will be in touch. I didn't even know you had that there. So anyway, let's get to some of the spicy comments. I'm gonna have to come out this window real quick. And then again, like I said, they were kind of on their best behavior this week. So um let's see how many I lose this time. Wait a second. Okay, so if you're in and you just joined, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. When you like, it's paying your tithes. It's also letting the algorithm know that this is some information that they should push out to some more people. So I'd appreciate it. Please hit the like button, like right now. Oh, I didn't lose anyone this time. Wow, that's the first. Okay, so we're going to hold on a second. Go to the spicy. I have to go into the studio for this one. Community held. Now, and sometimes they hold and they really shouldn't hold. So let's see what we're going to come up with. Share screen. Share screen. Community. Share. Now I have to bring it up to the stage. Okay. So let's see what the people are saying. But I didn't see too much spice this time. But sometimes if it's super spicy, you won't even see it. They they get sent to the ether. So these are somebody said today was fun. I don't know why these were held. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so I'm at 2 days ago when I was talking about the changes at the Mexican borders. You know, someone felt the need to come and say, close our borders to Mexicans, then why would we move abroad when 90% of the world wants to come to America or the West? Let's not kick a gift horse in the mouth. Yes, settlers, get up and run. And I think I read, see, these were 5 days ago. There haven't been that many. They used to be. I think because some of them I respond to. And when you respond to, a bully, an internet troll, they move on. They go to the path of least resistance. So my spicy comments have been letting me down lately. Yeah, settlers, get up and run. When after you run everything and complain about the native people, Mexicans. I don't even know. A lot of times when you don't make grammatical sense, I don't even think you're real. Like I think I don't know. This one said y'all should stay in y'all's country. And yeah, so this was 7 days ago. So we already went through some of these. Let me see, did I miss any? Some people stay defending me and my statements. So I appreciate the gemstones that do that. All African Americans, it is time for us to go home. Yeah, we read about, okay, he was telling us we need to go back. And I think they're Black people. What we need to worry about is 15 million immigrants taking over our country. It's time to stop calling yourself a crayon color. I tell you, this is why we should really leave, because if I got to stay and fight with some of these people, which are my people, but y'all want to fight me because I say Black instead of what some people want African American. Some people get mad if you say African American because they've never been to Africa. There are people that still want to be called colored. Listen, I ain't trying to please everybody. That's the difference. And so if you think we're going to come together and really make an impact when we have people that are more concerned about a title because it's a color in a crayon box than the message, if y'all don't get y'all passports and y'all residencies, these are legal immigrants. The folks he's trying to bounce are illegal migrants who came here with bogus claims of asylum. These same folks are getting what Black communities should be getting. Child. Do we even? Yeah, and then someone else came to talk about my nose, which I actually have my daddy's nose, and I ain't got no problems with it. I remember I had a family member that told me I should every night before I go to bed squeeze my nose to make it more white. Child, that's what I'm saying, dude. I don't even want to talk about staying here and fight because I know who I'll be staying and fighting with or against, or we'll end up fighting each other. Well, we should be fighting them. So yeah. Viva la Mexico. Viva la Mexico. Okay. Then someone stop fear mongering. My God, 10 million foreign. Somebody else said it's 15 million. Here, this person saying 10 million foreign, illegal, unvetted aliens flooded our borders these past 4 years. And the crazy thing is, and so that's really it. Like, I'll go back. Let me get back to what I was saying. So the crazy thing is, they don't talk about the other foreigners. They don't talk about the other illegal immigrants from other countries that are not brown and Black. They only want to focus on the brown and Black um, illegals that are in, and I hate saying that word, but people who are undocumented here in this country. And so, yeah. So if there's questions, I'm going to try to take them now. And okay, I don't do consultations about specifics on the Mexican residency here, and that's because it's not a game. I'm not giving general answers. I do consultations you could book me through, and that's why I even say if you're not serious, I don't even want you to book me for a Mexican consultation because it's that serious. And there's some very I'm not going to be on this platform all broad telling people what to put on an application. And so, God bless you for the questions. I'm going to skip that. But if you want to hire me, you can. So, and I have, oh my gosh, thank God. Let me say thank you to the meeting, the consultations I've already had. Y'all are really doing it. Y'all are serious. Y'all come prepared. No lolly. Like I've had some really great, and I actually have two more this week. And um and this is specifically for the Mexican residency consultations. I have been doing these for a while. I know exactly the information that needs to be disseminated, and I know how to disseminate it based on the questions you answer. There are no broad answers. I'm not if you want to know the financial solvency requirements, which is a broad answer, you can look that up. But when it comes to specifics, and I just want to address it because I see a specific question that was typed, which I'm going to ignore. Like I'm not going to answer it. And I just want to share why. And that's why I have certain consultations, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Deborah was glowing. Let's see, greetings. I did that. And again, if anybody wants to come up and ask another question related to any of the playlist topics that we, talked about, like I said, there's like 24, 25 videos. I don't put the Wednesday videos in the playlist. That you can look that up separately. I might do a separate playlist for the Gemstone, the Stay Ready Gemstones weekly recap, but it's not part of the regular playlist. Okay. How can we travel less expensively? There's so many ways. There's so many ways, Miss P. It depends upon where you want to travel. It depends upon what do you mean by less expensive? Like less expensive to uh, Bill Gates is not the same less expensive to Kim, aka Kim with the gems. So again, there's that's relative. So I don't know what you mean by less expensive. I did do a video on how to find. I think it went up yesterday. Uh, was yesterday Cyber Tuesday? Yes. How to go if you're talking about flying. Google Flights. How to walk yourself through Google Flights and find um, less expensive destinations and options during certain time periods. So you have to put in criteria. Oh, sorry. Ex-witness. Did you ask me about the LGBT? Listen, I think anything that was an amendment is at risk. I think anything that was a recent law is at risk, and that's all I can give. Yeah, Bitcoin, we ain't talking about that today, but yes, a lot of people here are not investors, so I don't even want to engage. I have a whole nother platform for that. So how can we find travel deals that are less expensive? I think, yeah, I just answered that, but that's the one I'm not answering. What about retire? Oh, that's WM. Okay, WM. I thought I read it. I read it wrong. WM. Let me just say this, and I'm not going to say this because of this platform. Email me, okay? If you can, email me. What about retirement from the state of New York? I don't understand. I don't understand. What do you mean? Retirement from the state of New York? How is that? I don't understand the question. Yeah, I did see that, Christine. That listen, I think there's going to be some. That's what they're announcing. Um, but that's why I also did a whole live video on affordable countries with affordable and quality healthcare, because that's part of the plan. That is part of the plan to gut the whole healthcare system, because it's draining the pockets of the wealthy. And so, yeah, listen, Christine. Yeah, no. And so that's why we're talking about the mental, how we have to, how we're going to have to protect our mental, and how if these general market, right, these markets and these articles that are catering not to us but to white people are talking about how women, since the results are functioning at work with high level depression, times that with Black women by 10, because now the people that you thought were allies, you're finding out, oh no, 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 no. The stories I'm hearing about the respect, or the disrespect, I should say, child, it is beyond. I'm just glad I don't have to clock into an office every day. I'm enjoying your channel and keep telling the truth. I'm ready to leave the States as well. Thank you, Imanzi, professional development. Let's all go. Let's all go. Let's decide where we're going to meet. Hey, W Squared, welcome back. Welcome back. Listen, all my life I had to fight. Exactly. Black people ain't safe in a country full of racism and lazy people. Side note, I did acupuncture for the first time today, doing it again tomorrow for anxiety. Yes. Listen, that, and I mentioned, like, winters for me in New York are no good, no bueno, because seasonal depression, the darkness early, the cold, like, it's cold here now, and it's going to be cold here for the foreseeable future. And that plays with my mental, which is why 2 years ago I started the boycott winter because of Stephanie Perry. And I left to go to warmer climates. And so the first year it was Mexico. I mean, it was Playa del Carmen, then it was Guadalajara, and spent some time in Puerto Vallarta, but mostly Guadalajara. I will be in the South, unfortunately, at the top of January to take care of some things, some obligations. And then planning, I wanted to go to Vietnam in February for a meetup that Stephanie Perry's having. But if I don't find the right flight, then I'm not going. Like, I need my flight to be different, or I need the prices that they're charging now to be business class or better. So I'm going to see about that. But if not, I'll be back in Mexico. And I was saying all that to say, we have to do what we need to do to protect this, because without this, what else? Without this, does anything else really matter? So yeah. And I also believe like getting sun. If you can get as much sun whenever, if it's finding where the direct sunlight's going to be and letting that give you energy every day if possible. Isn't South Korea under martial law as of today? Didn't he pull back on that? That's the last thing I heard. I think he pulled back, but they want to get rid of him now. Hey, Radical Health Series, welcome to Gym Nation. I don't think you were here before, but welcome. Or I don't remember seeing your name, I should say. Kristen, I do think so. Last I heard, yeah, canceled it. Yeah, it's gone. I think that's gone. Yeah, they're looking to get rid of him, but child, this whole world is up at, we got wars going on, we got martial laws going on, we got a 34-time felon. Listen, child, we are the gym hive. You want to make me try to remember something else? I thought we Gym Nation. I'm not trying to have Bay come after me. No beehive. No Kim slander will be tolerated over here. Thank you. And you know what? At the end of the day, when you know that there's, what is it, 135 million or billion people that come on, once it gets a certain time, my mind starts to that come on this platform and other social media platforms. I started building communities online in 2017. I know what the interwebs look like. So, and again, come harder. This won't be easy, in the word of Beyonce. These little words are not going to get me off my square. Immigrant word is very selective, extremely selective. Radical Health Series, extremely. And living in New York, when I tell you the welfare system, I know people who work in the welfare system and tell me who come to get welfare that don't, but I know there are places where you can go get MRIs for like $300 if you don't have health insurance, but you have to know people who know people, and those people don't look like this. And when you go there, I haven't been there, but I sent people there and I know people who have been there. They're the only ones. They're the only ones there, because and it's in Manhattan, it's in Midtown Manhattan, in a high HHI, household income zip code. So anyway, okay, yeah, definitely send me an email. Question. You couldn't make this stuff up. Nope. I don't know. I'm sure there are, but you'll have to check this out. I'm not sure. Ex-witness Vernon. Yeah, my mission here is not to police what other cultures are living where. My mission here is for us to stay ready so we don't have to get ready, to make sure we have options, to make sure we have our passports, to make sure we have downloaded all of our critical information and have made copies, meaning our financial records, our health records, our social security cards, our birth certificates, our marriage certificates, our college degrees, and all of that. My mission here is just to spread the word that things are going to change. No one has a crystal ball to know exactly how fast these changes are going to occur, but there are going to be people caught out there. And unfortunately, it will be a lot of our people because, you know, you know, there's a reason why there's a thing called CP time, right? So I love us for real. HBCU grad, keep my black Karma's World doll, keep my um Kobe Bryant. I have a bookcase here. Born a Crime, Don't Drop the Mic. Listen, I love my people, but I also know my people. I've worked in multicultural um, segment of marketing and sales my entire career. So I hate that we're going to have to leave people behind. I hate that a lot of us are going to be caught out there when we didn't have to be caught out there, which is why I will be back live every single day. Hoping to spread the word. I see that more people and more people are also spreading the word and bringing friends and family along. There was one comment, oh my gosh, there was a woman, she said, I don't remember if I met, I don't know if I read it already, but she was saying she was in a new relationship, but her man, he doesn't get it. And that may be the end of their relationship. And put your oxygen mask on first. That's what this is about. Just put your oxygen mask on first and then, survey the situation and see what moves you need to make. But be prepared to make those moves. That's it. That's it. And so we will have some more guest speakers coming. I have a couple that I'm just finalizing the time because I'm doing consultations, because I'm going live every day, because I have other responsibilities. um, yeah, it's just working out the time. So anyway, let me just repeat. If you need accountability to make your next move, join. Listen, we are at December 4th. 28 days to help change your life. Help stop procrastinating. Help you get whatever you need to get it done in community, with us leaning on each other. This is how, so my 28 days, I use this plan. I use this plan for this series. My 28 days ends on Saturday, Sunday. I started it. So Sunday, let's just say Sunday, because that'll be 28 days. So I started it before, like a few days before I went live the first time. But that is how I got through this live. That that is how I was able to stay focused and on track to research content, to put these lives together, um, to do all the things, right? To edit videos so that they're smaller, easily digestible pieces. If you need help staying accountable, drawing up your accountability plan this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's a small group because the bigger the groups are, the more chaotic it can get. And these meetings are only it's scheduled for an hour and 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes is for people who want to stay and do Q&A, but the hour is really developing your plan. Each week we will hold each other accountable, and I'm using this plan too. So it's not even like, and I will be in every single session. So I believe that link is also, let me just make sure, because there is a lot going on. And I did this, child, I did do this a while ago. So I just want to see. Yeah, I didn't have the 28. So I'm going to add it right now. I'm going to add the 28-day strategy accountability group. Excuse me, the 28-day accountability challenge right now. I'm going to add it. And so the link will be there if you know someone. And this is the most, because there was also people who were like, oh, I really, listen, I understand not everyone needs a consultation. Not everyone can afford a consultation. but most people need accountability. This is the most affordable, and it's not even the cheapest. So the people in my investment group pay more than the inaugural price that I would probably keep for at least 2 months. But yeah, so we definitely need to hold each other accountable because we don't have that much time. We don't have that much time at all. And so again, not fear mongering, but just, knowing that the passport situation is going to slow down. It's going to take longer. Once they start gutting these federal departments, and I know they want to start, like the Department of State is one of the places they want to start. Child, when they tell you it's going to take you 8 months to get a passport and you trying to leave in 4, you won't be happy. That you will not be happy about that. So again, I truly do these because the writing is on the wall. I know only a portion of us will get to the other side without having to rush to try to get to the other side. So hold on a second. I'm just going to add this while we're talking. And this link that I'm adding right now it will take you to my Calendly page, my calendar, and it will have the 3 opportunities to get coaching or accountability. So, and I'll check one more time to see if there's any questions before we say farewell. Okay, let me hit save. Okay, perfect. So let me see. Abundant Life Adventures, Don and Marie. I would start with the 60 plus, even if you're not 60. But I'm sure, and I'm in so many expat groups. I can't think of the exact name, but start with Black in Ecuador if you're Black, right? Black, I'm assuming you're Black. Black in Ecuador, Black in Guatemala, and see what comes up. The 60 plus Black women expat community has people from all over. The founder is from Ecuador. She was live on our channel yesterday. You can check out that live, find out more about her. Links are in yesterday's live. You can follow her on her YouTube channel as well as Facebook page. So yeah, so I would recommend just putting Black in Ecuador, Black in Guatemala across all social media platforms, and you should be able to find what you're looking for. Thanks for the question. Yeah, there's so many places then. There are people going to Canada. There are people going, to Portugal. Well, Portugal tired of us coming over there too. There's people going to Spain. There's people going to Africa. You can find all of that over the past 3.5 weeks. All of that content is in the playlist. My passport is on high alert. Okay. Yeah, and I think I haven't gotten mine yet. So I renewed not last Monday, the Monday before, I want to say. So it's been 2 weeks and a couple days. And so I'm waiting for my renewal to come. If you have to leave loved ones behind, know that they may come around, and when they do it, it will be easier for them to immigrate to where you are if you are a permanent resident. I hear that so many times. Matter of fact, Deborah yesterday talked about how, she has 7 children, 8 grandchildren. She left. Here comes her grandchildren. Here comes her, I think, son and daughter, or daughter-in-law and son. I don't remember, but they came now. The others are looking to get their passport. So again, it's sometimes it just takes one person to be the Harriet Tubman, right? And so um, you're right about that. Hello, my friend in Mexico has raised their minimum wage starting. Yeah, we already talked about that, Gina. Yeah, we talked about that at the kind of, I guess, towards the top of the hour, but they haven't given, they're estimating about a 12% increase in financial solvency minimums, but they haven't released those numbers yet. I also heard a note from our job to work remote is a requirement. Hmm. Listen, how fast will the U? I don't know. Ex-witness Vernon. I don't know. I just know we need to stay ready. Wonderful. So I think that's it for questions. So anyway, before you leave, let me just ask you one more time. Please, 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 please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the description, see if there's anything there that suits you, rather it's a link to the playlist, rather it's a resource guide, whatever it could be, including getting yourself a VPN so you can stay abreast of what's really happening outside of our borders um, while it's on sale. Like NordVPN, this is the one time of year that they go this low. There's certain platforms I use, Trading View is a platform that I use, and during um, Black, this time of year, they have the largest sale ever. And so, you can do 1 year or 2 years. I always say for me, I try to do 2 years because the rate is so, I don't remember if the 2 years is $3.99. Yeah, 2 years I think is $3.99 a month. 1 year is $4.99 a month. So I try to lock in for a long time. But anyway, so thank you everyone. Tomorrow the conversation is top line, going over just the high level, because people come into these Saturday sessions when we talk about the impact that Project 2025 is going to have, not may have, is going to have, without knowing. No, so many of us have not even, we just watch TV or we look at TikTok and try to get our information. So we're just going to top line the major areas that will impact this country, not necessarily just Black people, right? But this country. Then on Saturday, we're going to deep dive into you about to lose your job, like how the Black job is going to be affected, right? And when I say the Black job that we have now that has made us somewhat gainfully employed, right? And how those are going to be affected, and the plans that they may have for us. And that includes federal, that includes multicultural, that includes anything related to DEI, that includes so many jobs that we don't even realize are connected to DEI. And so we're going to talk about that on Saturday, but I thought it would be better to just do a top line that I could refer people back to that don't get it, right? So last week we talked about women, right? And I had somebody comment under, child, I should have read that one. Somebody commented under, why don't I talk about men's issues? Why don't I talk to Black men? Why do I only talk about Black women? And I'm like, well, if you follow this channel, you would know I talk to Black people. But when you're talking about reproductive rights, when you're talking about women's health care, when you're talking about a no contest divorce, where women will be obligated to stay in abusive relationships, you're upset because I'm not talking about men in that video. Like, child, this is a labor of love. This is a divine calling, and I'm here for the long haul. So we'll be back every day except Christmas and probably New Year's Eve. But I may jump on, or I may do a pre-produced content. So there will be content posted. But everybody during that time, I want you to spend relaxing, getting your paperwork together, enjoying your family, whatever it is that you want to do. I definitely want you to do that. So anyway, thank you for joining. Thank you. I'm not going to do any more comments tonight because we've been here an hour and 34 minutes. I will see everyone tomorrow at, Lord Jesus. I think tomorrow is, it's either 7 or 8, but let me see. Tomorrow is what date? Tomorrow is the 5th. Did I not post it yet? I thought I posted it. No, I didn't. Okay. So tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow, I believe it's 7. I will confirm that. I just have to check to see when my consultation is. So it's either 7 or 8 tomorrow. So I will see everyone then. Until then, everybody have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, Gemstones. Bye, Gem Nations. Pay your tithes. Hit that like button, please. Thank you. Until tomorrow. Have a good night.